So we're on Perek Yud Beis, last Perek of the Kiyos in Mesillas Shiurim. We've been here for a while, and this is the last stretch winding down about the issue of the Kiyos. So it does need to summarize the whole issue in order to be able to get to the last Perek. And in general, whenever the Mesillas Rabbi explains the subject, so he says that he starts first with the beer. He divides each subject into four. There's beer Hamidah, and then Chalkei Hamidah, Kiniyas Hamidah, and Mafsidi Hamidah. Whenever he explains something, so he first explains what the issue is, and then its parts. He breaks it down into its parts, and then the way to acquire it, and things that a person has to watch out for because they're inhibitors. He has to a general mashal for this whole way of the structure of how to explain something might be explained with a mashal of how to make money. You want to teach somebody about making money. So first you have to explain to him the value of money. If he doesn't have that, so then he's not going to work for whatever is necessary to acquire the skills. So first he has to have an appreciation of money, the value of money. And then even after he has that, there might be different subcategories. What does that include? What does money just means? It's a very general subject, but it has many subcategories of different kinds of wealth. And then after he knows that, then he appreciates whatever that is. Then he has to learn how to acquire money. It's not enough just to appreciate that you want it. Yeah, now you have to know how you're going to do it. And also there are mafsidim, there are things that a person can lose his money. You have to know how to watch it. You have to know how to protect it, how to guard it. So now we're talking about something much more important than money. We're talking about a person perfecting himself, and it shouldn't be treated any less. So the same way, first he's going to explain each meter what it is, and then we get an appreciation for it, breaking it down to all its parts, and then how to acquire it, and then how to beware from its the components that might hinder its acquisition. So that's how he did here also in the Midah. And each Midah did that, and the ladder of growth towards Hashem. So we're already finishing the third rung of the ladder. There was Zehirus and Zrizos, and now we're finishing up Nikiyos. And each one he did the same thing. First he explained what it is, what its parts, how to acquire it, and how to beware from its inhibitors. So in Nikiyos, it was since we're coming in the middle, so whoever wasn't there from the beginning, so it's difficult to appreciate the whole impact of what's being said. But we'll just summarize it in general, that on the ladder of getting towards Hashem, so the first thing is that a person should be aware of what he's doing. He shouldn't live hefker. He should be conscious and live a conscious life of his actions, what's right and what's wrong, and what he's doing. First, some people don't know what's right and what's wrong. Till we learn it, he tries to impress us that even though we think we know what's right and wrong, we don't unless we study it. And even after we know what's right and what's wrong, we have to pay attention to what we're doing, because many people know what's right and what's wrong, but they don't realize that they're not doing it. They're not fulfilling what they really know. So that's the issue of Zehirus. Zehirus means the issue of alacrity, not to procrastinate, not to push things off. And he has a high road and a low road. The high road would be enthusiasm, that a person does things with enthusiasm, so that's the opposite of procrastination. He's doing it because he's really engaged and appreciates what he's doing and the gain of what he's going to accomplish by doing it. So he does it with enthusiasm. Even if a person is not enthusiastic, to teach himself not to procrastinate, to teach himself to do it right away, even if he's lacking the enthusiasm, that itself is going to be a benefit, and it's also going to lead to enthusiasm also, as he explained earlier. And the Kiyos, the issue of the Kiyos that we're finishing up today, is the issue that even after a person, as we said, he studies what's right and what's wrong, and he sees what he's doing to make sure that it's aligned with his knowledge, but there's still a very big danger of a person being biased, and therefore he justifies himself. The first issue would have been Zehirus, that he doesn't even look what he's doing. He doesn't even pay attention. Now a person is paying attention, but to him it seems fine, and he doesn't realize the only reason why it seems fine is because he's biased. He has some personal gain, whatever it might be. The Mesillas in general calls it before ta'avot, desires, cravings. In the beginning of in Perek Yud, we explained what the issue of Nikiyos is, and since he has this bias, some personal gain, so he justifies himself. Sometimes he does it without realizing. Not that he realizes that I'm going to justify myself in front of other people. He justifies it to himself, and he doesn't realize that he's doing things that without that bias, he would have realized himself that it's wrong. So